Welcome back to Charge Motion. My name is Saximus.
My name is Ghoul.
Sorry for the 1 week hiatus. Things were afoot, but we are back with an extra beefy episode. Ghoul, what have you been playing the past couple weeks?
I have been playing lots of Street Fighter, as I usually do. I found myself diving back into Tekken with the new character. We'll talk about her later.
Yep.
I've been playing some Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
Killer Instinct is a lot of fun. More people should play Killer Instinct. It's free. You should play it.
Yeah, it is free on Microsoft, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, whenever it goes on sale on Steam, it's like $10.
Yeah, it goes on sale a lot.
Yeah, I've been playing some Punch Planets and Them's Fighting Herds. Both of them got new characters, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But right now, as we are recording this, it is April 1st, April Fool's Day. And today, we had our third Rivals Direct. So, for Rivals of Aether, April Fool's Day is kind of a yearly tradition. They always do something for April Fool's, and each year they get more and more excessive. Like they always put like more and more effort into their stuff for April Fool's Day, but it's always like legitimate, awesome news and announcements.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go over like the actual presentation itself because of as charming and as hilarious as it is. If I tried to explain all of the in-jokes and years of Rivals of Aether lore, we'd be here all day. It's on YouTube. It's like 30 minutes long. You can go watch. It's a lot of fun. But we got a ton of updates on stuff we've already seen before. Like we got updates on the mobile game Creatures of Aether. We got stuff on the new upcoming roguelike, turn-based roguelike dungeon crawler, Dungeons of Aether. We got info on the comic series, Tales of Aether. We got info on a documentary that's going to be made about the development and the competitive scene, Grassroots Elements. But the three big game updates. God, I love this game. I love this game so much. First of all, they said the magic R word.
The R word?
They said the R word for Rivals of Aether, and it's not Rivals. We're getting rollback.
Rollback netcode.
Dan has been working on it. Dan and the rest of the development team have been working on it for, I'm pretty sure, literal years, because that's how long people have been asking for it. And finally, this summer, it's going to go into beta on Steam. Because Rivals, up until now, has had delay-based netcode. And, if we're delay-based, it's fine, but it's still delay-based.
Right.
And we're finally getting a rollback in an open beta on Steam this summer.
That is excellent.
From what I've heard from people who have modded the game, the code for Rivals of Aether is held together with paper clips, rubber bands, duct tape, and dreams.
Lots of dreams.
So, and rollback in and of itself is very difficult to implement, so I can't imagine how much work this must have taken. I'm so happy the game's going to have better netcode. It deserves good netcode.
It does. Every game deserves good netcode.
Every game deserves good netcode. That's the one big update. The second one, which honestly blew my mind, is that at the end of the year, we are getting not one, not two, we are getting 4 new characters.
We're
getting 4 new characters of Rivals of Aether. Okay, so Rivals has had Steam Workshop support for a number of years. I think they said they have something like 1,500 fan-made characters.
Sheesh.
And some of them are like pre-existing characters from other video games or other media properties. Some of them are memes like Golden Ronald McDonald or Ultra Instinct Fox or Obamium. That's my favorite workshop character. But a lot of people have made original characters, and what they've announced is that they're taking 4 of the characters. And they are adding them to like the base game, so they're going to be tournament legal. You can play with them in ranked online, and so like the 4 characters, and Dan has said that they're actually working with the creators of the characters. Actually, the creator of one of them was actually brought on as a developer. Like,
that's fantastic.
Yeah. So one of each element. Molo is kind of like a stance character. He throws bombs with his smash attacks or strong attacks in Rivals, and he can use his neutral spells to change bombs. Hodon is actually a relatively new one. He's a big old monkey and he hits you with a towel.
Nice.
And you'll get a kick out of this. Hodon is a charge character
in a platform.
Platform fighter.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So the way he works, so you know how in Grand Blue Fantasy versus you can hit either the special button to do a special move, or you can do the input for the special button. It comes out faster, but it's got a longer cooldown and it's a weaker version. It's kind of like that. So, like, let's say for up special, you can just hit up and B to do up special, or you can charge down and then hit up B to do, like, a more powered up version of that.
Okay, so kind of like Terry's Rising Tackle.
Exactly, yeah.
In Ultimate.
Yeah, in Smash Ultimate. Palm, which I'm very excited about. I think Palm's really cool. Like, she has a float mechanic, not unlike Peach in Smash. So she's like this light aerial fighter. And then Olympia, I think Olympia is really cool because the creator of Olympia has said that he based her, if I can find it, on heavily inspired by Makoto from Street Fighter and Kido from Under Night and Leo from Tekken.
Okay, so very like karate.
Yes.
With a black belt gi, bare knuckle karate style.
Well, she has these giant gauntlets made out of gemstones.
Okay, I'm looking at her now.
Yeah. But yeah, she has these really, really awesome combo routes, and then she can set up like this giant crystal with this energy field that give her new combo routes, and then she can kick off it as a movement option.
She looks really cool.
She is. She's really technical. She's really difficult, but I'm so happy that my favorite game is getting more content. And what I don't understand, and I don't want to do a drama here, is that apparently there are a lot of people who are not happy about this. Like, I don't know. Like, I've been on Twitter, as I am. I'm terminally online. Follow me on Twitter, @5aximus. And I don't know. And a lot of Rivals players have seen, I wouldn't say a majority, but a lot are frustrated because, they feel like the game is fine as it is with the 14-character roster. And I know some people are afraid it'll shake out the meta, and they're afraid they'll be super broken when they come out. I can understand the frustration of people who were told that the definitive edition that came out last summer would be the final version of the game.
Right. And I can see a little bit of frustration with that.
Yeah, but like these 4 characters, like they're all pretty well known among workshop players. They're really well designed. They bring mechanics and play styles that aren't already represented in the base roster. And like the development team, like the actual Rivals of Ether development team is working on them. Like a lot of them are getting new sprite work. Some of them are getting moves completely reworked. So like, yeah, they're fan made characters, but when they come out, it said late 2021, they are going to have the same amount of polish as the 14 characters we already have. So I see no reason to get upset at more content for my favorite game. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, some people don't like it when their games change. You know what? That's okay.
That's fine.
It's okay to enjoy what you enjoy. But I think it's a good thing that Rivals of Ether is getting more attention. I've always enjoyed Rivals of Ether. Platform fighters aren't really, my forte. But if I were to play one and take it seriously, it would be Rivals.
It's also, I proved nothing. It is on sale right now on Steam. I believe it is half off.
Oh,
which
nice.
Is $15.
Cool.
So very affordable. And on Steam, it's got Steam Workshop, so the amount of content you can have is theoretically infinite.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you are frustrated with Smash Ultimate, as many people are. And you want, a platform fighter experience, you should definitely take a look at Rivals of Ether. It's a good one.
Yes. So I think they said they would come out towards the end of the year. Knowing the development team's track record with dates and timeframes and whatnot, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't come out till 2022. But
but at least we know it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming to Steam and Switch.
Excellent.
Yes. Which is great because Switch doesn't have Steam Workshop for obvious reasons. And the last really huge update is that we got a look at the sequel to Rivals of Ether, which as of now does not have a name yet, but it's in 3D. We
3D.
Yeah, we got to look at it last year during last year's Rivals Direct for April Fool's Day, but we actually got like gameplay footage. It's just a Zetaburn Ditto, but one of the things I really like about Rivals of Ether is that the sprite work is really solid. It manages to be really detailed and still visually clear as to what's going on. Going to 3D is a big jump, but they showed gameplay of a Zetaburn Ditto. It's still Rivals. They still got parries. They still have hit falling. It's it's still the fast pace of the game. But big change. They're adding shields and grabs.
Oh, that's a big shake.
That is a big shakeup.
So when you say 3D, you just mean 3D like models, right?
Yeah, 3D models, 3D backgrounds.
So it's still in terms of gameplay, a two-dimensional platform
Correct,
fighter.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing that people are very split on. Re-adding shields and grabs. Because on the one hand, like not having grabs and instead having parries is like the thing that makes Rivals unique compared to other platform fighters, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say there's a lot of things, but that's like the big one.
That's true. Yeah, but that's the one everyone thinks of.
Right.
So and it's a legitimate concern that it might be too similar to other platform fighters. But my take on it is this: it's still going to have parries, and adding new gameplay elements like shields and grabs will give the developers a chance, to kind of evolve the game into something that is different than Rivals One. And I personally find that a lot more interesting than the idea of just the Rivals of Aether we already have, but 3 dimensions.
Yeah. No, it's definitely more interesting to make big gameplay changes in a sequel than to just make a prettier version of the last one.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people, if they didn't shake up the gameplay style, a lot of people would make that criticism.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just Rivals 1, but 3D. Well, okay. But if they had changed something, you would have been mad too, so...
Yeah. I think when you're making, a new game, a sequel, it doesn't necessarily need to be a leap forward. I think a hop to the side is totally okay. Well, I think one of my favorite games, it's not a fighting game, one of my favorite games to do this is Risk of Rain. It's a roguelike. Risk of Rain 1 is 2D, pixel-based. Risk of Rain 2 is 3D. And, the core gameplay feels very similar, but they're still very different games.
Yeah.
And on the off chance that, putting in shields and grabs doesn't work out and Rivals of Aether 2, whatever winds up being called, isn't that good, Rivals 1's still going to exist.
Yeah, it's not like they're taking the game that already exists and changing it a bunch so you can never go back.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing it in a sequel, so if you don't like Rivals 2, you can still play Rivals 1.
Yeah. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I feel spoiled because both of my favorite fighting games are getting massive news.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because Skullgirls.
Skullgirls.
The show always seems to come back to Skullgirls.
All the time.
Where did that tweet go? Oh, yeah. So, Skullgirls Championship Series. We got esports. The game's a decade old. We got Skullgirls esports.
Skullgirls esports.
Oh, so on the website, skullgirlschampionship.com, and they also have a Twitter account. I believe it's at SkullgirlsGG across all social media. They said throughout 2021 they're going to feature 3 blockbuster tournaments or majors, followed by the 2021 championship, where only the top 16 players will compete for a prize pool of $10,000.
$10,000 on Skullgirls.
On Skullgirls. That is massive for a fighting game, especially for an indie fighting game.
So the question that's on my mind and the question that's on everybody else's mind: will Annie be legal?
It doesn't say, actually. So the 21 spring blockbuster will have open qualifiers on April 16th and April 17th, so a few weeks from this recording. Registration is open to North America players, including Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. They can register for the Double Elimination Best of 5 Series Tournament at smash.gg/Skullgirls Championship. It does not say. And I believe Annie is slated to leave the beta. I think they said in May.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the Smash GG page now, and it does not say one way or another.
So, if on the off chance that Annie isn't allowed in the first qualifier tournament because she's still in beta, chances are she'll be out of beta before the next one.
Yes. Actually, there is a rule book. This is actually, wow, the production quality on this is really good. But yes, I think the overall prize pool, I think it's something like 17,000.
Sheesh. That's a lot of money for Skullgirls.
That is a lot of money for Skullgirls. God, I'm so excited.
But that's really exciting, especially for the people that have put a lot of work into Skullgirls, like over the past few years. Like, I'm constantly seeing players like Sonic Fox, to Kill Sage, and I only know them because I follow them from other games.
Yeah.
I'm sure that, I'm not necessarily a huge force in the Skullgirls community, so I'm sure that there are a lot of other strong players that are going to get a huge opportunity from this championship series, and I'm really excited for them and for the community.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the rulebook right now. It says the version that the blockbuster tournament will be played on is the retail version of Skullgirls Second Encore on Steam. The tournament will not be on the beta version of the client.
Okay, yeah, so no Annie.
For the first one at least, it's safe to assume unless they push out an update that puts her in the base game before then.
Unless they speed up her release.
Yes.
Which is going to be interesting because a lot of people have been labbing with her a lot.
Yeah.
And like adding her to teams, and now it's starting to feel like it's a little premature.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that, very strong players will be able to go back to their teams pre-Annie and...
Yeah. Skullgirls players, we work very quickly.
Yeah.
She was cracked open within like a day of her release. Which, is not uncommon for fighting games, but considering how complex Skullgirls can be. But yes, it's I believe it's at Skullgirls GG on all social media accounts. Yeah. Sign up. It's gonna be good. Video games. Alright, so moving on to game updates. Them's Fightin' Herds, which is another game I really love and I encourage all of you to play. Got a new character. Got a 7th character. DLC character came out this week. Shanty, the goat. As well as the 2.0 update. And I feel it's worth acknowledging that the patch notes for the 2.0 update were so long that they did not fit on Steam.
Wow.
Yeah, they exceeded the character limit for Steam updates. And their forums. It's split up across like 4 or 5 forum posts.
That is wild.
And this is a game with 7 characters.
So I recently read the patch notes for the 20 gigabyte update to Cyberpunk 2077. And they have a whole website for that, and it was really long. But it wasn't too long to fit on the Steam forums.
Yeah, and I have it open on my computer right now, just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. They changed a lot. It's a 2.0 update. It's a massive update. They added new stages. They changed a lot of the universal mechanics. And a lot of characters got new tools. Some got completely new moves entirely. And they added Shanty, who's the 7th character, who's a stance character. I know I've pitched this before. I think Them's Fightin' Herds is really good. If you're relatively new to fighting games and you get overwhelmed with something like Skullgirls or Street Fighter, TFH is one of those games that has a very low skill floor and a very high skill ceiling. It's a 4-button game, small roster. Pretty much every character has the same universal Gatling combos. You can do light, medium, heavy, launcher, light, medium, heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's made with the Skullgirls game engine, so the combo system can potentially get super insane. But Shanty's really cool. She can kind of level herself up with magic. Because her magic charge can destroy projectiles and acts as a hitbox. And because she's a stance character, she has a running stance, and because she is in fact a goat, she can and goats can climb up sheer vertical surfaces. She can climb on the walls.
Really?
Yes, one of her stances.
That is neat.
Is she can cling on the walls, and she can climb up and down, and she can attack from the walls.
That is super cool.
It is. She's a lot of fun. Yeah. And I don't know what future content is going to look like, but they have a really good story mode. I highly recommend Them's Fightin' Herds, even if you already play fighting games. I know a lot of people get turned off by the art style and its origins as a fan game. It's good. It's a really good game. It's $15. And 2 of my favorite features, I know I've mentioned the dynamic music system before, but another one is that you can record and save and share your own combo trials.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah. So, and every character already has a lot of combo trials built in, but let's say you built one and your friend lives far away and you want to be able to teach them a combo. You could just send it to them, or if you think you might not be playing the game for a while, you record your B&B, so then when you boot the game up again, you can be like, oh, what are my B&Bs again? Oh, I can just go into the combo trials. There it is.
That's super cool.
It's very cool.
I think every fighting game should do that.
Yes. I mean, I think more fighting games should have combo trials in general, but the ability to create and share your own, I think, is just super cool.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's Fightin' Herds. $15 on Steam. I hesitate to say this, but like it 2.0 almost feels like a completely different game in a good way with how much they changed the system.
Yeah, I mean, it feels almost like it's an ultra Them's Fightin' Herds.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like one of those updates.
Yeah, and then they also, I know they made a lot of changes. I'm gonna see if I can find this in the patch notes to TFH's version of the infinite prevention system. Let me see if I can get it. So the way it works is that the longer you get comboed, there's Juggle Decay. The way it works is that the longer you get comboed, the more your character is impacted by gravity.
Okay.
So you're more likely to fall out of combos, but it also means that if your Juggle Decay bar is full, your opponent needs to mix up their combo routes in order to keep their combo going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of Smash-esque in choosing your combos to fit a specific situation, and not resorting to the exact same B&B all the time, which I really like. But yes, TFH is very cool, and it's also surprising because I'm pretty sure this is the development team's first game. So.
Yeah, I really like the idea of infinite prevention systems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also the type of player that I'm very much for, Marvel 3 style Touch of Death infinites.
Yeah.
Like I really like those don't get hit games.
Yeah.
And I think that certain games should have infinites and Touch of Death combos. But I also think it's really good that there are a lot of games that don't.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of indie fighting games with new characters, Punch Planet got its 8th character, Gat. Who is M. Bison if the M stood for Magneto.
Yes. That's exactly what he is. He is Magneto Bison.
Yes. He has a unique hover mechanic. I believe it's QCF kick in the air, and he can kind of hover towards your opponent and then attack out of it, so it's kind of like a stance. And he throws crystals at you. I really like Punch Planet. It's another one of those games that I'm very bad at. I believe the game's still in early access. I've heard it described as throwing Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 4 into a blender, and then lowering the execution of it, because it has a 1-button FADC.
Yes, that's true. It does. With the what do they call it? The time cancel.
Time cancel. Yes. Yeah. So when you're hitting in addition to your EX gauge, you also have a time gauge for both players, and it fills up automatically over time. And when you have up to 3 bars, when you have a bar, if you hit your opponent with a button, you can hit that same button again to cancel the recovery.
Yeah. So you FADC that button.
Yeah, and you can you can use it to open new combo routes. You can use it on block to make an unsafe move safe. It's very cool. It's very unique.
That is a cool system.
Mm. So yeah, GAT is a free update because the game's not finished yet. But and speaking of new characters in more high profile fighting games, we got 2 characters for KOF 15
since the last episode. Yep.
Since the last episode we recorded. Yes.
So the first one we have is Yashiro, who is a dude.
He is a dude.
He likes to punch things.
Yes.
He looks really cool. It looks like he has a few like command grabs, and he does like the KOF fire punch thing. Like there's a lot of people that do fire punches in KOF. But the main thing that interests me about Yashiro is the implications that go towards putting him in the game.
So as someone who is not as familiar with SNK, what do you mean by that?
By that I mean Yashiro is in a band with 2 other King of Fighters characters.
Really?
Yes. One of them being Shermie, who is a grappler who I played in King of Fighters 02. Mm-hmm. And the other one I actually do not remember because I don't know much about KOF. But the inclusion of Yashiro alone implies 2 more characters that will probably be in the game. Probably
on his team for
on
KOF,
his team. Yeah. It would be weird to have him in the game without these 2 characters.
And he hasn't been in the game for a while. Looks like in the KOF game. I mean.
Yeah. No. He hasn't been around. He wasn't in 14. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe he was in 13 either. But I could be wrong about that. But yeah, he looks cool. I'm definitely gonna give him a try. The other character is a character that I do know, and that is King.
Everyone knows King.
The King of King of Fighters.
Literally.
King looks super cool. She has her command overhead back. It looks like she can sort of cancel it into like air specials. Mm-hmm. So like she has like her Tatsu, and it looks like they brought back her air fireball, which is like a really cool combo tool for her. It might have to be EX or something. I don't know. But King has her Fireball. She has her Tatsu. She has her Trap Shot, which is like that DP backflip kick she does into the animation.
Yeah.
So she has that. She has all of her King moves. If you've played KOF before, you're probably really familiar with King, and it's really cool that she's in the game because she's an awesome character.
Yes.
And I'm definitely going to be playing her when King of Fighters 15 comes out.
I think this website I'm looking at says sometime in 2021. Do we have a release date? I don't think we do.
I'm not aware off the top of my head if we do. I want to say that there isn't one. As of this recording, but I also do not know.
We're gonna find out
for certain.
Yeah. So, that's KOF news. I think that's 12 characters announced so far.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. King of Fighters 14 had a huge roster, didn't it?
It had a huge roster.
So I wonder if they're gonna try. I mean, the tagline for 15 is "Shatter all expectations." So I wonder if they're gonna try and match that. So.
They might also streamline it a lot. Fighting games tend to be doing that nowadays. Sort of condensing the roster at launch and then sort of expanding it as you go with DLC.
Yeah. So also with new characters, we would have talked about her last week, but again we had to take a quick break. Lydia
Sobieska,
the Prime Minister of Poland.
The Prime Minister of Poland
in Tekken.
And a badass karate lady.
Yes.
I've been playing her. Tekken is one of my main games, so I understand it more so than a lot of the other games that we talk about. When Lydia was announced, everyone has sort of gotten used to a pattern with Tekken DLC characters, in that they usually come out busted.
Yeah.
Or at least new characters.
Yeah.
The returning Tekken characters haven't been so polarizing. With the exception of Kunimitsu, there's a lot of mixed opinions about her. But in any case, excuse me, Leroy and Fakumram were both absolutely nuts when they dropped.
Yeah.
And so when people saw that the last character of season 4 was going to be a new original character, there was a lot of hesitance and a lot of apprehension about what type of experience we'd be getting. And then she comes out and she's a super solid Tekken character.
Yeah. If as someone who is not as familiar with Tekken as you are, if you had told me that she originated from, I don't know, Tekken 4, Tekken 5, I would have believed you.
Yeah, she fits in really well. She respects the rules of the game very, very much, more so than the previous 2 original DLC characters.
Yeah.
If I had to pick like an archetype for her, it would probably be sort of like she's like a reactive, defensively tuned character. She has a lot of parries. She has very strong punishment. Her launchers aren't that great. Like her 15 frame launcher, which is like standard launcher speed for a Tekken character. Her only 15 frame launcher goes directly into a screw state, which means you basically only get half a combo.
That seems unusual.
It is unusual. There are lots of launchers in the game that go directly into screw state, but it's rare that your only 15 frame launcher does that. Actually, I can't even think of a character that has a 15 frame launcher that is like that off the top of my head. And it's her hop kick. Her up forward 4 goes directly into a screw state on hit. So it looks like they reduced the damage that she gets like off of normal opportunities.
Okay.
And they want you to be like more reactive and defensive with her because she does have other launchers that do a lot of damage.
Right.
And I don't want to say that she doesn't have damage because she does. It's just that she has to get her damage in unique ways. And like I said, she's like it feels like she's very defensively tuned with very, very strong punishment. So they really wanted to dial back on like the sort of over-aggressive characters like Fakumram. On the flip side, though, she has a lot of crazy stances. She has 4 stances. and 2 of them are branches of the other 2. So
that seems incredibly complex.
it sounds it when I explain it, but when you actually go through it in game, it's less so.
Okay.
She has Catfoot stance 1 and 2, which you can enter manually or by transitioning from attacks that go into it.
Okay.
And then off of either 1 or 2, if you press forward, you enter a secondary stance that is different depending on, which Catfoot stance you were in. I forgot what I know one of them is Heaven and Earth stance, and I forgot what the other one was called off the top of my head. But yeah, so each one has obviously different moves that come out of it that do different things. Another thing that I find really interesting about her stances is that a lot of her moves force her into stances on hit.
Oh.
So like her forward 2, like her sort of long-reaching mid, on hit, it forces you into stance.
Okay.
And then, you have to take your mix-up because she doesn't block during her stances. Whereas another character might be able to take that hit and then choose whether or not they wanted to go into stance to commit to it. She doesn't get to choose.
Okay.
You have to commit to your stances when you land these specific moves. And I think that's a really interesting thing about her and like the way that she has to play.
That seems very complex. I mean, Tekken is a very complex game. So
Tekken is a very complex game.
But I see what you mean. How she feels like right at home in Tekken. So.
Oh yeah, she feels right at home and also very unique at the same time. I think they did a really good job with her. She's also really popular because her design is really cool. Her moves are really satisfying and cool. Her style is interesting and unique. It's just it's a big win in my book with this character. I've gotten a good amount of time to use her, both online and offline. And she just feels really good and satisfying to play, which I think is really important.
That is most important, yeah. So moving on to some upcoming games. It is the year of our Lord 2021, and we're getting a new Melty Blood game.
A new Melty Blood game.
Melty Blood Type Lumina, slated for a 2021 release. Let me see if I can find the tweet. Coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, but not PC.
No PC release?
That's what it said.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And strange. I don't have very much experience with Melty at all.
Both a PS5 and Xbox Series X and S and whatever the hell.
Huh. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Oh well, no PC release. It might come later.
Maybe.
But yeah, so new Melty Blood game. That's really exciting for fans of the series because they have been trucking. Man, like people who play Melty
they play Melty.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, first Melty Blood came out like what 10 years ago,
something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It didn't release outside of Japan until it came to PC in April 2016.
Yeah.
But it looks like it will have rollback.
Rollback, they did. They said the word right up front.
Yes.
They said rollback, so it will be a Melty Blood game with rollback netcode in 2021, not on PC.
This is just the world we live in now. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I've never played Melty Blood, so I have no attachment to the series. But I just think it's so weird.
It is. It's
in a good way. In a good way.
It's unexpected.
Right? Unexpected. That's a very good way to put it.
Especially with the success that Undernight has seen in the past couple years.
That's true.
Although they did just release CLR last year, the year before.
Yeah.
But no, it's super cool, and I'm excited to get into it. I never got into the original Melty just because there was a lot of... It didn't feel accessible, right? It was a lot of, you have to download this, and you have to find the game somewhere, and it was difficult to just pick up the game and start playing it. And I mean, I guess no, it's not actually difficult. It's more out of the way. Yeah.
It's not as simple. I mean, I know it is on Steam, but I think the non-Steam version is the one most people play.
Yeah, the majority of people play the community version, which I guess does have a pretty solid netcode because it's a community hosted one.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's been sort of out of the way to get to, and I don't know a whole lot of people that play it. I do know some people that play it, but I don't know a lot of people that play it. So it was never really on my radar as far as games that I wanted to try. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting into it when Type Lumina comes out.
Same. I just think it's very cool that it's such an old niche game is getting a new entry with rollback on modern platforms.
And it's exciting because I like seeing these old niche games start to come back. Because I want there to be more options than Tekken and Street Fighter.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Tekken and Street Fighter. I do. I love them both to death. But there should be more fighting games on the market.
Exactly. And speaking of more fighting games on the market, Fighting EX Lair is getting an update, right?
It is.
It already did in Japan.
Technically, yes.
Yes.
So Fighting EX Lair, Another Dash, is what they're calling it. Has, as far as I'm aware, it has launched in Japan.
On the Switch.
And it's a complete overhaul of the game system. They have removed the Gogi deck system, which for those of you who don't know, it's very akin to the gems from Street Fighter Cross Tekken, just less broken and less predatory.
I've never played Cross Tekken, but golly, do I know about the gems.
So the Gogi deck system is you select a deck of power-ups that you gain by completing goals in the match. So the goal might be throw your opponent 5 times, and then if you do that during the match, it activates the Gogi, and then you get some sort of buff. So maybe your throws get buffed or something like that.
Right.
I didn't actually take that example from the game. I just made it up, but that's along the lines of what they are. That system has been removed. And it has been replaced with EX moves.
Yes. I'm a little disappointed because that's a system that is unique to the game, but in a good way.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's one of those things that I guess it's just something that I guess the developers felt like it was a system that was turning people away from their game. Maybe.
That's fair.
Maybe that's what they felt. Maybe they just had a hard time balancing it. I don't know. I mean, there were some nutty Gogis in there. There were some of them there was one, my favorite one, that when you input a dash, which the game has full run dashes, by the way. It's not like Street Fighter dashes. You hit forward, and you run. While you're dashing, you become invisible. While this Gogi is activated. I forgot what the prerequisite was to activate it, but that's what the effect was.
But do you become do you become visible when you stop running?
Yes.
Okay.
But you can run up to somebody, be invisible, and mix them up.
Oh, yeah, because you can press a button and they can't see what button you're pressing.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can run up and do a command overhead, or throw them, or input a low. Excuse me. And that game also has sliding. So when you release dashing.
Oh, that's really cool, honestly.
When you come out of a dash, you carry your momentum into a slide. And during that slide, you can input moves.
So has that been removed entirely, or is that now...
As far as I understand, the slides, the momentum slide is still there.
I mean the invisible stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's gone.
Ah.
The Gogi decks are gone.
Makes you kind of sad, honestly.
It was wacky fun. And that's what the game was, for me at least.
Yeah. I played a little bit when it first came out, and I was overjoyed to find out that Skullomania had a raging demon.
Skullo.
Yeah, but hopefully this change does make the game more accessible to people, because it is a fun game, and I want people to play it.
It is a fun game. When Another Dash launches, I believe it's slated for... excuse me. I believe it's slated for April 15th to launch in the States. There will be a free-to-play version.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. Yes, Fighting EX Another Dash is scheduled to release on the Switch in North America and Europe on April 15th. So.
Yep, and it'll come with a free-to-play version that gives you access to 4 characters. Not all of them, obviously. I believe the roster has 18 characters in it.
Something like that.
But yeah, and I believe it'll cost $25, if I read correctly.
Yes, and that's very reasonable. And it's got Terry Bogard.
And it does have Terry Bogard.
So moving on to more updates. Street Fighter V. We're in the middle of Season 5.
We are.
Dan's out. Rose is on her way, and we have a spring update. Surprisingly soon after the previous one.
Yeah.
Live stream April 6th, so 5 days from this recording, at 3 p.m. Pacific, so that would be 6 p.m. Eastern. And it says, join us and special guests for updates on Season 5, Rose, Oro, and more.
And more.
Maybe we'll get a look at Akira. Maybe we'll find out who the last character in Season 5 is.
Maybe both.
Maybe both. Who
maybe
knows?
neither. We'll never know. Not
Yeah.
until the day.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes open for that. April 6th, 2021.
Yes.
There's going to be a live stream talking about the Street Fighter V spring update.
And because I just apparently get to have so many nice things.
You just get to have everything.
I get to have so many nice things with all of my favorite games. Even though the Pokemon Players Cup 3 is technically still going, I'm pretty sure. Because, I'm not sure when the championships are. But Pokemon Players Cup 4 got announced for June 19th. And Pokken is going to be back again.
That's awesome.
We're still getting official Pokken tournaments. Yes. June 19th. It's going to play until top 16 in each region, and then July 3rd is going to be top 8. If you want to register, all the information is on the Pokemon website for Players Cup 4. Maybe if enough people sign up, and maybe enough people buy the game, we'll finally get that empty hole on the CSS filled with another character, because it bothers me. I want another one. There's so many great Pokemon they could add. Maybe we'll get a Pokken too. Harada said that he's open to it.
He did say that.
We need to show TCPI that we like Pokken, because it's so good.
Pokken is an awesome game. I've been playing it more over the past couple weeks, and it is a lot of fun.
Yes.
It's very different and unique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the buttons are like Smash or Blade Strangers, where like there's no motion inputs.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a direction and a button. And you have a dedicated block button. We also have high stance and low stance, and different characters have different effects depending on their stance. It is a very unique game, and I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but Pokemon Company could have just gotten Nintendo or Game Freak or someone just to make a mediocre Street Fighter clone, and they would have broken even, because it's Pokemon, right? But instead they got Bandai Namco of all developers to create this super unique Arena Fighter 2D fighter hybrid that's very much unlike anything that's on the market right now.
Definitely take a look at it if you can.
If you can,
you should.
Because it's a Nintendo game, meaning it never goes on sale.
Ever.
Never.
I bit the bullet and bought it full price, and I don't regret it. So, with all of that news out of the way, we are going to be going into our clip of the week for this evening.
Yes.
We have another clip from our friend Montel Chilliams playing Killer Instinct. And don't forget to send us your clips so that we can watch them on the show and you can be in the clip of the week segment.
Yes.
Where we will select a clip that has been submitted to us via Twitter at ChargeMotion. Tweet us your clips.
Does not matter what game you play. We want to see it.
We do.
Tweet us at it at ChargeMotion. We'll see it, we'll watch it, we'll break it down, and we'll give you compliments.
We will. We always do.
Yes. All right, welcome back to Clip of the Week. As always, if you want to submit your clips of the week, you can tweet them at us at ChargeMotion on Twitter. Cool, tell us about this Clip of the Week.
So this Clip of the Week is from our friend that some of you may recognize from our first Clip of the Week, Montel Chilliams. Mm-hmm. He is playing Killer Instinct this time.
Nice.
I love Killer Instinct.
I need to play more Killer Instinct.
It's one of my favorite games. But he is playing Thunder. He is on your screen as OYBG Warlock. And he is fighting against Drifty Toast. I don't know if this is a random online or if this is someone he knows. Mm-hmm. But we're just going to watch the clip play out.
That's fine.
So both players are on red life right now. So it's essentially final round.
Right. Bad DP. Yeah, that was a bad DP.
Counter hit into combo. Yet another one. So he gets locked out, so he spends the bar. Spends 2 bars.
I forget sometimes how huge Hisaku's range is.
Oh, yeah.
Because he hit him at, like, what? 3/4 screen, full screen.
Something like that, yeah. Hisako's range, her Naginata gives her a lot of range. Now we're making a comeback here. Hisako is in danger. All that was 2 command grabs. Oh, that breaker. Breaker saved his life. Sweep.
And then 1 command grab.
One command grab. Wake up into command grab.
That's scary.
Okay.
Or that might have been regular throw. But either way, that is scary.
That's fine.
So we're gonna let the clip replay, and we can just sort of like pause at certain parts and talk about it.
Yeah, you are the resident Killer Instinct player here, so I'm gonna let you break it down.
Yeah, so that was just a bad DP, and he got punished for it. Hisako here gets a counter hit into a full combo. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Killer Instinct's combo system, it goes off of light, medium, and heavy attacks, and as you're being hit by combos, if you can either react to or guess which button your opponent is pressing, either light, medium, or heavy, you can input a combo breaker to break out of that combo. And it resets neutral. On the flip side, if you guess wrong or if you mistime it, you get what's called locked out. So you'll see the meter appear over Thunder's head. That means he inputted an incorrect combo breaker, and he now has to eat a combo for 3 whole seconds. And with no opportunity to break. So you only get 1 chance to break out of a combo, and if you mess up, you eat big damage, and that's what happens here.
There we go. Guess wrong.
Guess wrong.
Okay.
So now, these 2 EX slashes, the Hisako spent both bars because there was nothing he could do about it. But this is a throw into conversion. Hisako breaks out. That was a good jump in. Combo into command grab. Now he's in danger. So in this situation here, if you're in danger and you get touched, your opponent can cancel into ultra combo, which will just kill you. That isn't what happens in this clip, but that's the threat that's happening here.
Right.
So as long as your health bar says danger, even the smallest hit is the end of the game. So he's looming over Hisako here on Oki.
Just standing there menacingly. She wakes up.
Yep, she wakes up. Oh, he breaks out of that combo.
Yeah. That patience on block was really good.
There it is.
It really was.
It looked like she did a high-low mix-up.
She did. The other thing that Hisako can do is one of her unique traits is that she can delay her moves inside combos to throw off your breaker timing. So it's right here where he breaks out. You can see she like charged up that medium button.
Yeah.
Sweep.
There it
The
is.
game's over.
Grab, and the game is over. So that was an excellent grappler comeback from our friend Montel Chilliams. We won't make you watch it again. But that was awesome Killer Instinct play right there. Is like coming back from... I mean, Hisako has like, what, 55% there?
Something like that. 55, 60-ish.
Ish, yeah. And just a big old grappler comeback, which are, you know, our friend Montel Chilliams is notorious for in all of the games that he plays. So shout outs to him. Thank you to Montel Chilliams for submitting another clip of the week. We're always happy to see your gameplay. And if you're not Montel Chilliams, we still want to see your gameplay.
Yes, please submit your clips on Twitter, @ChargeMotion. Doesn't matter what game it is. A clip that you are proud of and you think is hype, send it to us, and maybe we'll look at it on the show.
Yeah, and we're going to watch it, and we're going to analyze it, and we're going to react to it just like we did here.
Yes.
So send us your clips. We want to see you play.
All right, that was a lot of news. It was 2 weeks worth of news.
So much news.
So much
it was
news.
2 weeks worth
All
of news.
of the news. And I'm pretty sure there was stuff we even missed, but hopefully we'll be able to talk about it next week here on Charge Motion. Remember, send us your clip of the week @ChargeMotion on Twitter. My name is Saximus, @5Aximus on Twitter, because Saximus was taken.
My name is Ghoul, @XGhoul with a 0 on Twitter, because Ghoul was taken.
And we will see you next week. Good fight, good night.